Well, I always like to start with something a little funny, so I got this joke. I hope you think it's a joke. 3 aspiring psychologists, William, Julie, and Bubba, were taking their first test on emotional extremes. Teacher asked William, "What is the opposite of sadness?" And he answered, "Happiness." Julie was asked the opposite of depression and answered by saying joy. Then he asked Bubba the opposite of woe, W-O-E. And Bubba thought for a few minutes and then he said, "Giddy up." Communication, that's what it's all about. Well, this morning I'm talking about the principle of oneness. And so I'd like to start out with a little exercise for us all, if you care to join in. Just become very comfortable in your seat, very relaxed, let go of anything and just float for a minute. And see within yourself that point you recognize as the spirit of yourself. So for some it might be in the head, or for some it would be in the heart, or any part of the body, just an extreme, warm, lovely feeling in that area. This is your consciousness, your thought, your love, your emotions. Let's sit with that. That is my oneness in this consciousness. Now turn your attention to the room and encompass everyone and everything in this room from that very spiritual part of us. Now we are one with everything that is here. And now expand again throughout the whole city of Camarillo, encompassing all that exists, all the buildings, all the people, all the roadways, all the animals, embracing everything, being one with it, being one, recognizing it. Now expand again to the state of California, encompassing all that exists in the state of California as part of this oneness and the unity, the love. Now move to the whole world. In this moment, the spirit, the oneness, unity encompasses the whole world right there within each of us. Now move out into the galaxy, into the Milky Way, encompassing all of that. This is the oneness, the unity that we have in living in this consciousness as this God. And finally, just allow it free reign to encompass all that is, like Buzz Lightyear said, to infinity and beyond. For that God is all there is. And in the unity, it's where we know consciously that we are one, all one. Now come back, y'all. That's the oneness, is when you give life to it, when you recognize it, when you use your consciousness. I think my biggest teacher about oneness was my dog. I had to part with the dog this last week. But the closeness, the bond was always there. And it didn't matter if I was home in the house with him or if I was out doing something. That link, that beingness was always there. I could be out in the kitchen, clanking the dishes and throwing things here and there. And then if I opened the refrigerator and got out a drink, there was the dog. How he knew that. But there was just this bond and this expectation that came along. And he'd been with me for 16 years, so that's a long time. The only thing he ever knew. But in feeling that way and courting this oneness not only is for all that exists on the physical plane, but all that exists on the spiritual plane. And so joining and uniting, understanding that oneness. And that oneness within each of us is our freedom. We can have, be, and do anything because of this unity. And that's why we have the help. When we wanted the carpet and painting and so forth, it was all prearranged. I mean, if you sat down and thought, well, I'm going to plan out what we're going to do. We're going to make the decision, we're going to paint it, and we're going to make a flood, and then, you know, you can't do those kinds of things. At one point in my life, I was very down and depressed, and things were going wrong, and so forth and so on. And it got really bad, and I wanted out terribly. Doesn't anybody know what my out was? A big Grand Pyrenees dog bit me in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Aha! See, there's one that said, oh, that's bad. No. If I learned one thing, I do not judge the happenings. Because you have to go in them, go through them, and find out what did that do? What did that change? It was just like you punched a key on the computer and everything was rearranged. Everything in my life was resorted. Things that I had been giving little attention became very important to me. And so I think I could have thought 1,000 years on the problems I was having. And I would never have come up with that for a solution. But there is an infinite intelligence that has access to all ways. Pam put it this morning, there's a power for good and you can use it. We're using it all the time. And it's creating for us all the time. It doesn't take holidays, it doesn't go off on vacation. It's always available, always operating. And what is occurring in our lives is dependent on our relationship to this creative power. What is your relationship? What is your understanding of this oneness, this unity? For one thing, it's protection, and right now we need a lot of protection from all kinds of things. But to accept that I am free because of my unity with the creative power of the universe, or whatever you want to call it. I think people have fun trying to make up an encompassing name, and it can't do it because it is indescribable. We feel from that area. We seek out our life. We seek out the meaning for life. The meaning for life is to find this origin, this source. We're all moving toward a greater understanding. And no matter what you think or what your beliefs or all of that, this infinite power is working in a principled way, in a precise way. And so you learn the laws. That has been my lifelong quest, I guess. I wanted to know why these things happen and how they come about. Even as a child, I didn't blame something out there. I used to go to the back of the closet behind all the dresses. There was a shoe shelf, and I'd sit there and try to figure out, why are these things happening? What am I doing? Like 10, I'm saying, what am I doing to create this? Was that bold? Mm-hmm. Yes, but it was the truth. And so that's been my quest. How do I interact with this power of the universe to achieve those things that I desire, to assist others in their desires? And so that's a lifelong quest. Sometimes I'm really good at it. I've had times where a big thing like on this church, I could tell when we had that momentum, it was like being on the crest of the wave. And all you have to do is stand there and the wave just carries you right into shore. And that's what happened. We are on that wave. We are getting that assistance, divine assistance. And that's where we share that oneness. Do you feel more connected now than you did when you came in? Yeah, that's okay. That's what we need to do, is connect at that spirit soul level to make the idea of oneness, the reality of oneness, for self. It's your job, nobody else can do it for you. I often wish, as I counsel with people, that I could do it, but I don't know that I'm enough to know what needs to happen. I always get excited about these projects when those little extra things are there. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever planned? The infinite plans, the infinite things about it. Think back on your own life as you created it. What was your relationship on a spiritual level? I really fell in love with Dr. Holmes when I found and read his textbook. And I love the idea that he had behind it. He really didn't want to make a religion. And the truth is that understanding these principles and practicing these principles goes beyond any secular or denominational idea of religion. It's practical. That's really why I'm a religious scientist, because it's practical. It allows me to understand the difficulties going on in life and yet not be affected by them. I think that's wonderful. We're each creating our life by our understanding, by our beliefs, and they're all very different. And yet I'll bet every one of you somewhere in your life had one of those experiences. You wanted something, and something rather strange and bizarre had to happen in order for that to come about. Ernest Holmes says if what you need is buried in the darkest, deepest hole in Africa, that you will find it. You will have it come to you. And it depends on your understanding and your state of mind. Combining love. Love is the greatest healer of all. Love is the greatest creator of all. And when we love, when I look out there and I give love, that's a shared love. I haven't lost anything by giving it. I have only increased my own understanding and feeling of love and sharing with. That's why I can sit here and I can say, I love you all, and I have not been diminished one iota by giving that. And because the receiving comes in greater and greater and greater. Loving everything that goes on. That's why my life is unfolding perfectly, no matter what. And we really don't know what's perfect for this situation. We're always saying we want this, we want that, or if onlys. What have been your if onlys? Best to get to the place where you are so convinced of this oneness, of this unity, of this care and protection, that you go anywhere doing anything without a bit of concern or fear. Somehow, somewhere, I am in my own perfection and joy. That's why I love to spend time with you all. I like the fact that you're questioning, aren't you, right now? Questioning in yourself. If you drop out of the service and go off with your own idea, great, that's wonderful. You're going to get it subjectively then. But I've had so many things, and I feel I'm open to so many things of joy to experience. I like to watch this. This sanctuary and the way it looks, it's a miracle. Let's call it that, huh? Mm-hmm. When you want something and you watch the process until it's created for you, isn't that fabulous? And we're all on a path, dictating our own path. Remember, we are a healing. So everything that you may think is not right, place healing on it. And then see where it fits. Nothing is in isolation. Everything's in a continuum. And it's good to stop and think back over situations and see where they fit in. Especially things that may be difficult for you or may have caused you pain. Look at it and see how it moved from one place to the other. One little change in my life and I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be sitting somewhere else. One little change, maybe. But I like to think it doesn't matter what iterations we go through. We're all aiming to end up in the same place. Enlightened. Ecstatic. Just like that word. I like that word. I'm ecstatic. What profound idea is in that? Wake up every morning loving life. Go to sleep every night loving life. Not just your own capsule, your own space capsule, but all life. All life. Mary Jane Wilson used to say, pour love on it. Let's pour some love. Let's pour love on our politicians. Right?
Yeah.
To hold that until it spreads. Using that divine mind we have, knowing that we are one and how influential each one is. You're creating life. You're giving out your expectations and watching what returns to you. All of that. You're very powerful. We're all very powerful. So stop now once in a while, and what are you thinking? Is your thought of the moment joy and peace and love and uplift, or is it not? There's only one word that this all-encompassing God knows, and that is yes. So we've got to have the right input. What is it that you want? When can you get to the place of not wanting, but accepting? I do a lot of accepting and a lot of letting go. Because there comes a point in time that you've done everything that you can. And then's when you just sit in peace and in love and allow the creation to happen. We're just giving the orders. See, some of our problem is we not only want to give the order, but we want to tell them how to do it. I know better than that God. I know what I want and I know how I should get it. We sometimes deny our own good just by that very idea because it's not coming through the channel we wanted it to come through. You are in charge. We are in oneness with each other and yet allowed our own individual life. People and things and ideas flow to us because they want us. The next time you have an urge to do something, that's the God wanting to express. And each of us here, and each of us everywhere, has that soul that can express at the most profound level. Let's all accept that things are done now. We don't have to do anything about it. The best life is being planned. Things that we may think are bad are really being set into a place to create something new, to give us another idea, to give us another experience. So look at those things. When life seems to be going in a direction you want to go, stop and go in that direction. There's something there for you. I attempt to live my life always aware of the oneness and learn from everybody's experience. You know, I don't have to experience some of those things if I learn the lesson. When I found out about the law of karma and figured you've got to do something about things sometime, I thought it's best to do it now. I'm going to do the treatment now. I'm going to accept the answer now. I'm going to let it go and flow. I have a very wonderful life, and I have expectations that it will become even more wonderful. My kind of wonderful. Might not be yours. Yours is personal. But I invite you to really give that thought of oneness and unity. And that's how we can empathize with another. That's how I know what people are feeling, what's happening. That's how I knew when the dog sat there looking at me what the dog wanted. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't a different look, but I could tell he wanted to go out in the backyard. He wanted water. He wanted food. He wanted love. Let's recognize those things in us that can communicate on a higher level. But I don't know. I think the dog and I were communicating on that spirit level, even while he was in my care. And so that's by seeking that oneness, to really taking the whole universe and beyond into our consciousness as we live our daily lives. We evoke a great deal of power through that. It's up to you and I to determine what we want. It's up to the infinite power of the universe to fulfill that desire. Don't get confused on which is your job and which is the infinite's job. Remember the serenity prayer? Yeah. It says, I'm always on that last step trying to figure out whether I can do anything about it or not. But you'll find yourself sometimes doing that, doing things that you'd best let go. If you're in a quandary, just sit still and let everything go. You know, it's picking up, take it off again. So just spend a moment right now back at that apex, back at encompassing the entire universe, and feel the love coming and going, all one. I love you all.